Podcast is a production focused on storytelling, exploring new TTRPG systems and their supplements. This podcast is not sponsored by any of the systems or their owners, and is meant to be a fun, interactive book club. Respective credits for songs, sound effects, and resources are listed within the description or details. And with that, please enjoy, adventurer. So downtime is how you basically, between scores, your crew spends time at their liberty attending to personal needs and side projects. These are called downtime activities. So during a downtime phase, each player has time for 2 downtime activities. So you can acquire an asset, start a long-term project, recover, reduce heat, train, or indulge vice. Each one kind of does different things depending on what you want to do. But yeah, so these downtime activities are basically ways for you to fund new things, to potentially level up, and other things like reducing heat. So, because right now your heat stays at 4 unless you reduce it. Recover, of course, that's for like if you want to get health back, but neither of you were actually fighting, so you're fine. You didn't take any harm. Which of these would you potentially would like to do here for both of you? Because you have time for 2 downtime activities. Acquire an asset, long-term project, recover, reduce heat, train, or indulge vice. So, who would like to figure out which one would you like to do? So,
all right, I have 1 stress right now. What does I again, sorry to people listening. I hate to ask you to explain the stress, but if I have 1, what does this affect on Wicker?
the more stress you get, the higher it goes up until you get stuff like trauma, which can influence things like your rolls later on. Like if you fill out completely all of your stress, you can be potentially put out of the game. That doesn't mean that you die. It just means that your character is like, haunted, or there's something, or they might get incarcerated, or they might just be like, I can't do crimes anymore, like I retire, or something like that. So stress as it builds up is a negative that you want to eventually get rid of. So the only way you get rid of stress is through downtime activities.
Got it. Because I don't want to. I just saw that you can overindulge in your vice.
Right.
And I only have 1 stress, so I'll leave it. If I'm going to be doing 2 things, I would say train and reduce heat. And as to saying how we would reduce heat, I think I might have a good way to try to reduce heat on the crew. Let's say, if this makes any sense at all, this ghost business was loud, weird, scary, and maybe some of the Red Crest were disturbed by this, and like you all had something to do with it. And I would try to almost as they see Wicker as the one who knows about spirits, or we've seen him commune with spirits before, and he tries to do not like educate them, but just like this was a spirit that just appeared and was you know it was disturbed, yes, but and then he tries to go through a simple explanation of why this spirit was nothing more than just a spirit that is just it was a restless spirit that appeared and harmless, trying to make it like to reduce the heat, I guess, to make it like this wasn't as big as a deal. It was just loud. And
Okay, so you have to make an action roll. So who are you? So what are you doing to do this? Are you?
I'm just well, would this make sense to reduce heat, like
to make the action? So basically, I guess it really depends on who you're talking to about. Like this wasn't as big of a deal. This was a restless spirit. I guess it really depends on kind of like who you're talking to or what you're trying to do to do so, right?
Like, if maybe some of the Red Crests came by the hatchery, the to get a drink, and they're talking about what had happened, and if I'm in the bar, and I overhear them, I kind of, oh, that sounds like a restless spirit, not a malicious spirit. Restless
Okay.
spirits often tend to make their presence known, to sometimes shock, to scare, to just to do something, to feel something again, much like when a child gets bored.
So yeah, we can say that. We can say that there's a couple of red crests because the hatchery is on the docks, like it's on the kind of the edge of Shellview. So we'll say like eventually a couple of red crests coming in, a couple maybe like a day or so later, just talking like making the rounds. They see a pub, they go in, they're having a drink, and they're talking about it. Did you see that ghost up on the docks? What was that craziness, Rob? What was going on there? So go ahead and what action you're going to be rolling here?
The action I'll go ahead and roll for this would be to sway someone with logic.
Okay.
I guess I don't know how, like, Wicker's not like you see him on the street and be like, hey, that's Wicker, the ghost guy. But I think it would be a little obvious to say that Wicker kind of looks like he knows what he's talking about.
You're in a cloak, always in a cloak. You just glide over like, excuse.
Did you say something about ghosts? Kind of like that, pretty much.
Tony J style, just like, excuse me.
I couldn't help but overhear you were talking about one of the restless spirits by the docks. I heard there was one that was screaming and making a racket.
Yeah, it was a frightful sight, mate.
Yes, restless spirits often are, but with spirits and ghosts like that, often their bark is bigger than their bite, I would say.
What makes you say that? What makes you an expert on the thing?
He will go ahead and how weird do I want to get?
The answer is yes. Yes.
Yep or do.
Not that weird. Okay. I'll go ahead and I pull out the spirit bane charm. He's going to make eye contact. His eyes are they're not classic human eyes, and as you well know, because he is a Yuan Ti, so he always keeps his visage and his everything covered. He doesn't want people to kind of, I would say,
for the listeners at home, this is the first reveal that he.
Yeah, this is the reveal. This is it. So yeah, he's going to kind of raise the charm and actually look at them, and he just. Hoping the appearance and the sight of the charm, the spirit world is something I am intimately familiar with. And then he puts the charm away.
Given that you have the appearance of a creepy dude and your eyes are glowing yellow, I would say this would be a controlled position because you are cloaked, mysteriously gliding in a pub and just being like, excuse me.
I'm leaning into it.
I would say that because of that, I'll give it a controlled great effect.
Okay, and with sway, I do have 1 in sway, so it is roll 1 dice only.
This is just 1 die.
Okay, well, see on the other
This will
side.
determine if you reduce it by.
Believe in you.
Like I'm looking at it and I don't want to roll it, but I've said it, so
Unless someone wants to. That's a 2.
well, this is an idea. Amanda, how
Well, here's the thing. Since we're all bumbling through systems here, I will veto this for the time being. As far as like, if anyone, Amanda, if you would like to assist, or Collin, would you like to take a devil's bargain?
I guess in this situation, how...
What is the devil's... Oh, go ahead.
Nope. Go ahead.
The devil's bargain is this. You're a creepy dude. You are going up to a bunch of policemen, basically, and saying, I know about the occult. They will definitely remember to come to you if anything else strange happens.
I know a guy for ghosts. I'd be the guy.
This would mean, though, that like if anything strange happened, they would be like, I know a guy
You.
specifically that would potentially be the dude to talk to about this, or he might be involved. So that's a devil's bargain.
I kind of like it though.
You've activated
right.
his track card.
I kind of
Yeah.
this kind of well, there's some positives that can come from this. Just to kind of throw it out there in the future, if there's anything else where there's a ghost or there's something happening in the area, maybe I do compel again, and then I could stand with a group of people and they're like, oh, is that the ghost guy? And I'd be like, it's all right, everybody, I can handle this. And I can continue to kind of put my notoriety to the ghost guy knows what he's doing, so we don't question him about it. But also, if something happens and a ghost thing happens, they're like, I wonder if Wicker had something to do with it. That's the
Yeah.
downside. That's
mean-
the downside.
We did just hand over some sort of artifact that does do something to ghosts. So there's
I didn't hand it over, I just showed it.
No. The artifact we just stole and handed off to
Oh,
the child.
That
Yeah.
one.
Might get blamed.
So a bit risky, yeah.
It's up to you.
Yeah, I would say again. So this is that we'll still establish this is that if you want the devil's bargain, this is going to be a controlled, great effect, and it's going to be a devil's bargain. If you want to take it, you would get 2 dice. Unless Amanda wants to do anything else, but that yeah.
And if I don't, am I just gonna
You could also
not reduce heat?
Yeah. So well, I mean, if you want to reduce heat, like this is how you're doing it. But
And if I don't don't pass this, it's not gonna be like a negative where they're just like, we're gonna remember you tried to be weird with us. Or is it just going to be like it has no effect and nothing happens?
So the way it works is that you reduce heat according to the result. 1 to 3 is reduce heat by 1. 4 to 5, reduce heat by 2. 6 is 3. A critical is 5 heat.
So I am reducing it just by 1 at the moment.
Yeah, you'd just be reducing it by 1 at the moment.
Is that okay?
If you just want to stick with that.
Yes, because it's not like a failure. It's not like
Nope.
they're like. It's not a devil's bargain.
You're not
It's
getting
just
extra heat because you flubbed it.
right. That was what I was worried about. Yeah, I'll go with that. That seems like a good idea. I won't be extra.
Okay.
No devil's bargain.
All right. So then, basically, no devil's bargain or anything like that. They both kind of look at you for a moment. You're like, yeah, okay, all right, and they just kind of inch slightly off to the left as you're doing that. But yeah, so reduce heat by 1. What is the other downtime activity you would like to do?
It was train.
So when you spend time in training, you mark 1 XP on the XP track for an attribute or playbook advancement. If you have the appropriate crew training upgrade unlocked, mark 1 XP. So what do you do during your training? So what do you...
Oh, okay. That same grotto area, which I guess I would also go visit the hooded purveyor, when I indulge in my vice. But I just kind of, if Wicker is training, he is just attuning to the spirit world.
So yeah, so if you look at, you see all these ticks that are by insight, prowess, resolve, and then you've got the abilities.
Yes.
One, those are your ticks. So you can tick up.
I'd like to tick up on resolve.
Okay, so then downtime activities for Brody. So, but I'm sorry, you just went to go for your training. What did you do? You went.
It's resolve training, so that's attune, command, and sway. Wicker just goes and communes with this with the spirit realm. If there's he tries to make sure his connection is stable. Listens to those that whisper.
We'll say that as you're in your training session of like kind of in a quiet place of where you normally go, kind of that grotto area like you had talked about, right? Where you meet Karis. You hear all these voices about you in kind of a small. It's almost like it's constant whispers, but there's the occasional uptick of something that causes your head to kind of move to the side, to the left, to the right in a fashion, and you get the sense that you're feeling something moving about in the ether, and it gives you more resolve as you understand that there's potentially something going on further. Brody.
The two activities that Brody would engage in for downtime is to, I would say he'd indulge in a vice. Probably taking Dr. Femora out to dinner as thank you and as a way to pay him his 1 coin for following the heist there.
Okay.
And then, as far as reducing heat goes, I would basically be coming up with a scenario in which he would be able to reduce heat and then roll to see how effective it was.
Yes, so you basically you're positing to me what you're trying to do to reduce the heat, and then your roll determines how effective the heat is reduced.
Okay.
Basically, tell me what you're doing. So, which would you like to do first for your?
Let's do the downtime with Dr. Femora first. The vice.
So you're not in Shellview. We'll say that with the yoke that you have gotten, you decided that you're able to go a bit further north to Geode Grotto. Geode Grotto has a specialty for what they consider not to be. It's not rock candy, but it is kind of like rock candy, because it's not. It's kind of like a savory, crunchy crystal, which that's sounds strange, but it's delicious. It's kind of it's a delicacy amongst the stonekin, kind of the golem creatures that are there, and the people. It's kind of an acquired taste, but it's fancy enough that people just really dig it. You take Dr. Jaden Foimora out to dinner, and as he sits down at the restaurant, which basically is just a giant stonekin that comes by with a big plate of his respective shining stones and crystals, sets it down and gives you a nod before he goes to his respective partner that is off to the side, also bussing tables. So, the doctor says as he adjusts his glasses, I hear there was a bit of strangeness that happened at the docks.
I mean, it can't be helped when you're working with Wicker. Things are strange all the time.
Aye, but that scream I heard, that was something.
'Twas. It's not something I've seen before. When he's called his wee ghosties, usually it's just an old man or a passing wisp. Nothing too terrifying, but that one was definitely not terrifying.
Do be careful around that man. Just something about him doesn't strike me right. Granted, I'm not one to judge. I mean, you're not exactly a paragon of virtue yourself, but at the same time,
How dare you?
Do not even bother trying to defend yourself.
I am an honest man. He's laughing as he's in his drinks.
Just be certain that you keep an eye on that. Seems a bit odd.
Well, I'll use my good eye, I guess. He slides over the coin purse to him as thanks.
He takes it in appreciation and puts it in his pocket.
All right. I'm so curious about this savory rock crystal.
Yeah, so
it's pop rocks. Pop rocks.
It's pop rocks that taste like meat.
I'm almost imagining, like, you know how Jelly Bellies are like soft in the middle, but they're crunchy on the outside.
I like that, yeah, actually, where it's like, yeah, so it's, yeah.
But it's like a bouillon cube on the inside, like crust on the outside. That could be sexy.
Crusty rock meat. I mean,
it speaks to the geology in there.
Well, it's for any person that looks at a rock and goes, I want to eat that. Like crystals, just like...
You would be surprised how often that happens. You're like, man, just want to put, it's like raccoon brains, something.
Well, it's like what is it? Like people look at the lava or magma. It's like the forbidden,
forbidden snack.
Yes,
it's like forbidden icing or something. Yeah,
exactly.
All right. Well, so how do you reduce heat then? What do you plan on doing to reduce heat?
So I imagine just making their rounds. The the Red Crest would at some point stop by to say, if you heard anything strange, you guys are kind of weird. Imagine Brody would be kind of helping Bo up front, just kind of cutting wood and things for the hearth and other things. He's like, I can't believe we are being asked about such strange occurrences. He's like whacking on this wood, the red sap flecking him, making him look more and more horrifying as he's going. And using savage as a show of violence to add to command. He goes, we weren't there, we had nothing to do with it, and I am appalled you didn't even ask.
Okay. So this is yeah, all right.
He's intimidating to lie, essentially saying that he's trying to spook them into saying, okay, forget we asked.
Yeah, I'll say that's a controlled role or control position with, I would say, with a great effect because you are being covered in blood. And just to confirm, though, you're with who right now? Chopping wood.
I imagine Bo would have.
Poe? Is it Poe?
It's Poe. Is it
Poe?
Poe? Sorry.
Poe.
Poe, not Bo. Poe.
Okay.
So
It's like, who's Bo? It's like, hi.
hi, I'm Bo. Sorry,
I'm Bo.
Bo and Poe. I get them mixed up. Sorry. So yes, Poe.
As Bo is just sundered from existence. I didn't get even a chance to exist. Oh.
So you roll 3 for that.
Oh.
Because when you're doing savage, like you said, when you unleash physical violence, is especially frightening. So that was a 5 and a, what was that other one? 5
and a 3.
3.
Just roll the other one because then you never know. Like, I mean, you might get a 6, right? So, okay, 5. So yeah, so that's gonna reduce the heat by 2.
Oh boy.
Huzzah.
And for also, we forgot to do the roll for, or at least to look at for the vice. So you roll to find out how much stress relief your character receives. A vice roll is like a resistance roll in reverse. Rather than gaining stress levels, you clear stress levels. The effectiveness of your indulgence depends upon your character's worst attribute rating. It's their weakest quality that is most enthralled to vice. So make an attribute roll using your character's lowest attribute rating. If there's a tie, that's fine. Still use that rating. So your lowest attribute rating.
So attribute would be under like insight, prowess, or resolve, or
I
think those, yeah.
Yeah, I believe that's your, so that would be your insight, because that's the lowest one, right? So
yes.
So you just roll 1 die. 6.
6.
Okay. You clear 6.
Uh-oh. If you clear more stress levels than you had marked, you overindulge. See below. If you do... Oh, no. If you do not or cannot indulge in your vice during downtime, you take stress equal to your trauma.
Thank you. So that's good to know. So you had how much stress?
I had 5. God damn it!
So you overindulged in the rock, the crusty rock meat. You make a bad call because of your vice in acquiring it or under its influence. To bring the effect of this bad decision into the game, select an overindulgence from the list. You either attract trouble, brag about your exploits, you get lost, or you become tapped. So let me know which one of those. So attract trouble is select or roll an additional entanglement. So another thing that potentially could happen, which I might save for later. Brag about your exploits. You gain 2 heat back on the crew. You become lost. Your character vanishes for a few weeks. Play a different character until this one returns from their bender.
A few weeks.
Weeks? It's
What is that?
rock
What is in that rock candy?
I love me some candy.
I've lived until you've had the rock meat.
He went partying with like the stonekin, just like
They took him down into the caverns, you know, where they originate.
God.
Oh hell yeah!
oh, it's a cave rave. Yeah,
It's a cave
cave rave.
Oh,
Or tapped. Your current purveyor cuts you off. Find a new source for your vice. So, Geo Grotto would be potentially cut off. At least I would think. I mean, it's up to.
Let me in. I
need the rock meat.
I need a rock meat.
I am, for story reasons, I am deeply drawn to the bender because I think it would be Brody's style, but I don't know functionally how that would work.
Would She need to actually make a second character?
You would have to make a second character for the next session that you would. It's, the way it works is that your character play a different character until this one returns from their bender. When your character returns, they've also healed any harm they had. So basically, you just create a new character and you just file it away for when Brody comes back, or you keep playing as the new character. That's why. That's why I mentioned. That's why I mentioned with Blades in the Dark, the main character technically is your crew. The scoundrels can end up going off, going to prison, dying. It's just not to say that like don't treat your guys like, oh, I want to kill these guys, but at the same time, that's how this game works. Like the line says, play your characters like you're driving a stolen car. So,
Okay.
but I don't want to. That's up to you. That's what you want to do.
Up to you.
So, okay. So functionally, how many sessions would I be without Brody?
Oh God. Your character vanishes for a few weeks. So, I mean, it's up to you guys. It's up to you guys as far as like how this would go. If you want to create another character, I'd say for maybe the next session, you certainly can. Because I would say just mechanically, so that we're paying homage to the system, so that we're actually doing what they're saying in the book. I would say maybe you'd play that character for one session, and then you just pocket them away, right? And then they potentially would be just doing something else for the time being. But then you'd have Brody after the session after next. So I see a lot of smiles and giggling.
Like, here's the thing, like, character-wise, that is 100% what would happen with Brody. But this is also, we're bumbling through systems, so it seems wrong to do that in this instance. So I guess for this playthrough, I would... What?
You did take down a lot of heat, so if we put 2 back, it wouldn't be crazy. But
Well, we only lost... I only put back 2 heat, though. Correct?
did you take down like 5? No, this is
that
stress.
was
Sorry.
stress.
That was stress.
Oh,
Heat brought down to 2, from what I remember. Heat was brought down by 2.
Oh, and so it would just go. It would go back up.
Yeah. So...
It would go because right now we're at 1 heat.
Yeah.
And it would just put it back up to 3. Doesn't seem too bad. You could brag about it because what is that? Bragging? Is that the other option?
Bragging is the +2 to heat.
Overindulgence is not fun. The dice gods never give me good things. So even when I get a 6, it is bad. All right. I would say then, you know what? He got too deep in his cups. He was enjoying his time with Dr. Femora. He was talking a little too loudly about the good old days and the current good days, and he bragged about his exploits, not caring as much who overheard him.
Okay. Dr. Jaden Femora over this dinner, or is just noticing, like, as Brody is overindulging, just continually getting more of that rock meat, and just gotta find a good name for that.
I think rock meat is perfect.
Great. Yeah, that's beautiful. In any case, yeah, Dr. Jaden Femora is looking at you like kind of just looking over side-eyed, just looking like right, okay, it was, yeah, all right, we talked about this, you can take it down a notch, and it's like, but you get a few people just kind of looking over from their plates and just scooching away the tables as they are giving yours a wide berth, but now some people realize that you have gained a little bit of notoriety, so put 2 heat back on the clock, or the indulgence. All right, and with that, we come to the final bit here, which is going to be XP for the session. So for your playbook, you mark 1 XP so at the end of each session, review your XP triggers, as well as mark XP for any desperate roll a player makes. So basically you mark 1 XP in the attribute for the action you had rolled that was desperate. I am trying to remember what I made you do. It was the desperate roll. I believe that was the
For me, it was I was commanding because I'd done the flashback with the badge.
So you would mark XP in where your command is. So I believe that's in your resolve.
So are those the white banners that are coming down along the title area?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then so we mark XP there, and then Collin, I don't think you had any desperate rolls.
No.
And then you do your triggers for your playbook. You mark 1 XP if it happened at all, or 2 XP if it happened a lot during the session. So your playbook specific XP trigger. So what is Wicker's specific playbook trigger?
Where would I find that?
That should be. Let me go to the. It might actually be on the breakdown of the.
Oh, okay, I see it. You addressed a challenge with knowledge or arcane power. So I did that.
So yeah, your playbook specific XP triggers. You mark 1 XP for it happened at all, or 2 XP if it happened a lot. So what was your trigger again? It was you.
My trigger. It says you addressed a challenge with knowledge or arcane power. I guess the first or the only being that I did use compel, and to a lesser extent, trying to explain away a restless spirit with knowledge. So arcane power, compel, knowledge, restless spirit to reduce heat by 1.
Okay. So I would say that yeah, you got 2 XP for that. You expressed your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background. I would say you did. So I'd say you get an XP for that. You struggled with issues from your vice or trauma. No, you did not get any. You didn't struggle with that at all. So.
And I'm only marking off just 1 total XP, or is it 1 per each thing?
It's per trigger. So basically, mark 1 XP for it happened at all, or 2 XP if it happened a lot. So if it happened a lot, it's 2 XP instead of 1.
So I think I just get 1 for the challenge, and then 1 for the beliefs, for a total of 2. Because I don't think
you expressed your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background. That's a separate category. So that depends. How much of that did you do during the session?
Not at all, or a little.
Your back, yeah. I don't think you really did any of that because you didn't really express your beliefs, drives, or your hair or background.
No, I didn't do any of that. No.
So you did your playbook specific trigger, and you didn't struggle with issues from your vice or trauma. So I think you just get the 2 XP.
Okay, that sounds good. And that's on the resolve banner again.
I'm double checking because I believe you can choose where this XP can go. Because I think the desperate XP has to go in the one you made a desperate roll for.
Okay.
You may mark end of on end of session XP can be marked on any XP tracks you want. So you can do it on for the character itself or any other attribute if you'd like. So wherever you'd like.
Okay, I'm gonna keep it with resolve then. Yeah.
Brody. So let's go into yours then. So mark 1 XP in the attribute. So you already did that for your desperate roll. So your playbook specific XP trigger. How much of that what's your trigger for that?
All right. So for the cutter, let me see. You addressed a challenge with violence or coercion. I would argue that command would be listed under coercion. And does the downtime activities count in towards this XP?
It's the end of the session, so yes.
Okay, because there was technically 2 places with coercion. There was on the boat trying to get them, or to kind of bluff our way onto the ship, and then also trying to decrease the heat was technically violence and coercion.
So that would be 2 XP.
Sweetness. Okay.
Because it happened more than once. You express your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background.
I can't think of a time where that occurred, other than talking to Dr. Famora, but we didn't really go over.
No, it wasn't really fully in depth.
No.
We'll save that for sweeps. So you struggled with issues from your vice or trauma. Yes,
technically
you definitely struggled with your vice. You overindulged on that rock meat.
It's just good meat. Okay, so then that would be an additional XP to bring it up to 3?
That would be, yes. So the 2 XP for the times, and then, yeah, so you've got 3 XP.
Okay, so
you have the desperate roll that you got. That's 1. Then you've got the end of session XP stuff, which is a total of 3. So you have 4 XP total.
Okay, so
out of everything.
Those 3 XP that I earned at the very end, those can be attributed on any of the skill sets.
On any of the skill sets, or also your direct player playbook, because you see those banners that are by abilities.
Mm-hmm.
That's your playbook level up.
I'm looking for where that is.
So where you see on your your character sheet, you see where it says So you can level into that, or you can level into your attributes.
Fair enough.
And I'm guessing if you level into abilities, then you can get another ability.
Yes,
once you fill it.
because your playbook is expanding.
Got it. Okay. Cool beans.
So this is why they tell you to basically go crazy with your rolls and try to do stuff. Because even if you fail and you do stuff, you get more XP, which gives you more abilities and attributes and stuff because you're leveling up your character.
Risks and rewards. So, as far as adding these XP points on the abilities, like Resolve, for example, once I get up to, looks to be 6, would I then get to add a dot beneath once all 6 of those have been filled?
Yes. So once it's all filled, so when you fill an XP track, you clear all the marks and you take an advance. When you take an advance from your playbook track, you may choose an additional special ability. When you take an advance from an attribute, you may add an additional ability dot to any of the actions under that attribute. So basically, once you fill up that attribute, so like say if you fill up all of Insight, you can do 1 in Survey or 1 in Hunt, 1 in Study, 1 in Tinker, like that kind of thing, right?
Gotcha.
Or if you fill up all of Resolve, you can do 1 in Command or 1 in Attune. So
Fair enough. Okay. Then I think I will kind of split the pot. I'll do an additional XP in Resolve, and then I'll add the other 2 onto the abilities then.
okay. All right, so the gears have turned. We got to the end of a session. We got to a score. Before we move to, I think just because of the way that this is kind of orchestrated and how everything went, we could do a brief discussion. But I first want to do a little bit of a behind-the-scenes camera pan.
Ooh.
The hatchery's begun to fill up with patrons, and you are both kind of just taking your respective seats where you normally would at the bar. Poe Blackwood has finally pulled the nail out of the bar and flicks it off to the side into the trash, and it makes a little ping noise. We cut to Vivian Piper, sitting in the grotto. She has her foot up against a stalagmite that's kind of been cut off at the middle, so she's just kind of, Captain Morganing, basically, here as she looks over at the young boy with the blue feather. He opens the bag, and the box is revealed, the shining blue light filling the grotto in kind of a dim illumination. As she pulls the box out, she opens it even fuller, and she pulls a mysterious blue crystal out. And as she holds the crystal up to her ear, she begins to hum as a singing crystal is now in her possession.
Oh.
Oh no.
Yeah, but that's why I think root beer is a lot better than Dr. Pepper,
Well, see, both root beer and Dr. Pepper are just brown sodas. They're just kind of boring.
How dare you?
Well, like if the
I was hearing a bit of sacrilege there for Dr. Pepper there. I'm going to have to cut you off right there, my friend. That goes right into my veins. Welcome to the After the Fact. So normally we have a few episodes before we do After the Fact where we kind of just discuss kind of the systems, everything like that. Of course, I feel like just kind of how we were all new to this new system and then just everything kind of how it was. I kind of wanted to briefly discuss about it before we do another recording at some point in the future for another session. But yeah, Blades in the Dark. What'd you guys think?
Oh, it hurts my little anxious heart, I'll be honest with you. Going in, it feels like you're going in more blind than with other systems where you're allowed to role play out the act of gathering intel and other things. It happens, and it seems more kind of high risk.
I was trying to do, I think I was, this is my own stress, I suppose, of where I was trying to make sure there was enough role play for you guys, and I hope I wasn't speeding you guys through areas or anything like that. But yeah, that's how I felt. Is that a lot of it is just, one thing I admire about it is just cut to the action, right? Like, can you remember like when in D&D when it's like, let's try to break into the mansion? What do? You spend like sometimes 45 minutes to an hour trying to figure out how to get into the mansion first, and then everything can happen, right? So
exactly. Yeah.
The one thing that I think I'm going to adjust a little bit the way I play after this, because what immediately stood out to me is that while we were playing, it started feeling like it felt like a heist movie a little bit. You know, Ocean's 11. You know, I'm arriving. We get to the door. Flashback. I met with the locksmith, and
Right.
he gave me a special key. So it kind of felt like a heist movie to me, and
Yeah.
I think I want to try to kind of take off the D&D brain and put on I'm going to put on heist mode. I need
Right.
to learn how to I want to utilize the flashbacks more. I want to utilize the planning more to just be able to go with it, and kind of lean into that aspect more. Maybe even get a little bit more weird. Who knows? But I think that's I just needed to get used to this play style over the more traditional dice rolls of D&D, and kind of lean into more heist mode, if you will. If that it felt very much like especially with the flashbacks. I think we could get pretty creative with those.
It's a system that I still appreciate for just, it does, like I was doing the example, it is very much a situation that kind of harkens back in some ways to the, nuh-uh, I've got this, or nuh-uh, this happened, but not in a, I don't think, a terribly, like, breaking way. Because I think I love that there is some structure to it. Like, yeah, you can do a flashback, but you take some stress depending on how complex the flashback is, right? Or there's still things that would be complicated that happen during the flashback, or other things too. And I do like systems like this too that reward not necessarily failure, but attempts at trying to do an action. And even if you fail technically, you still succeed because you gain XP. You gain also further insight and complications and other entanglements and things that can arise from it. I do appreciate that about the system. I'm still trying to get my head around, me personally, conditions, effects, and other things, because the book is, again, I've mentioned this before, very beefy. They tell you, make sure you read through the entire thing before you play. I have read through this thing like 3 or 4 times, and I still feel like I still don't have a whole grasp on it, because it's just, and I'm not saying it's overly complex either. It's a new system entirely. And I'm very much a person that will read and reread rules over and over and over again. But honestly, I am a person that after I start doing it, I know what I'm doing, right? Or I know, or at least that's how I feel personally. Like, I need to do it. I need to actually play it to actually get the sense of something, or to do the task. That's me, personally. But
Absolutely. And I mean, that's kind of what the first session's all about, is kind of, it is the highest amount of bumbling you can do on session 1. Because session 0, you're just establishing who you are and not what you're doing. So I feel like the character that I've made is one that's going to drive like a stolen car, essentially. But until this session concluded, we didn't know where the roads were. So now that we do, kind of, I'm excited for some shenanigans.
Yes, can you say shenanigans?
I think I can say shenanigans. So yeah, it's going to cause me, stress ulcers, but it's going to be a blast, I feel. So
It's going to be a good fun way to try out the things that we may not have necessarily tried out in an environment like D&D. With this one, we might be able to get a little bit more wacky. And
it's. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I think we've got we've got like I said, I think shenanigans are on the way, and I think we're gonna welcome them with open arms.
Great. So the story, quote unquote, there wasn't a lot of setup. I understand that. I mean, I feel like there was enough, but how did people feel about the elements being incorporated from our amalgamation and from the Quiet Year?
It's fun because you get to you recognize things that we built together, and you're like, "Uh-oh, I know what that means."
I know.
Oh no, or I recognize that. Right. So it was cool. I guess it's an odd thing to say. I kind of the me that helped create that universe and the me that is Wicker, or it's almost like 2 separate things. So I'm like, I forget about the scene Chris will be like, oh, uh-oh. That's just things like that. It makes it even more fun to kind of like be in this world that you created, and you're starting to recognize some of its landmarks and some of its culture that you'd helped put in there.
Yeah, I am curious to see more of this develop as we explore different areas, do different heists. I love the idea of the red crests and how, like, just tying in that vampirism, the nepotism. It's interesting to see where we were with the settlement a couple hundred years ago and what this has evolved to over time. The veil was a really cool thing that we got to learn about. It's like, ooh, it's creepy. Yeah, I am excited just to see more going forward.
Okay, cool. Anything else you guys would like to talk about as far as like anything that's pressing, like that you feel like you'd want to know more about, or maybe that you're confused on, or anything else like that, or?
Not at the moment. I think the more we play, the more we catch on, because I'm not thinking of anything at the moment.
Okay. Well, cool. So, as always, you can check out bladesinthedark.com and evilhat.com. They have tons of resources to be able to play this game. You can certainly purchase the physical book, but they have tons of resources that are just available, like as cheat sheets and player sheets to be able to just get up and running with this game. So yes, anyway, we hope you enjoyed this. You can find us at our YouTube at Tables and Fables Pod, the Instagram at Tables and Fables Pod, Blue Sky, Tables and Fables Pod.bsky.social. Of course, the official site for the podcast, www.tablesandfablespod.com. So, does anyone else have any other things they'd like to say?
I'm excited for next session.
Me
I can't
too.
wait. This is a fun. I enjoy this. The Blades in the Dark is kind of fun. It's making me think outside the box in different ways. I like it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great.
Yep.
Well, then, no matter what time it is for you, morning, evening, or night, I hope you're having a good time. Thanks, and you'll hear from us next time. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Be good.